Hello friends, today's video will be about the phenomenon of racism, to which the Congolese Oda Benga was exposed, as he was likened to a monkey. Before the start of the video, do not forget to support us by subscribing to the channel and activating the bell button to receive all new updates. Let's start. The story of the African dwarf Oda Benga is one of the ugliest and cruelest stories of slavery, racism and human trafficking in history, as it was shown in the Bronx Zoo in Missouri, United States, with some monkeys and chimpanzees for many years. Imagine, dear reader, that you go to the zoo and find a man locked up with monkeys, and when you wonder why he is there, you are told that he is an example of the theory of human evolution from monkey to man, and that he is the missing link in Darwin's theory. But Benga was not a monkey, nor was he a link in a supposed chain of human evolution. He was a human being with feelings, a human being who suffered torment throughout his life because of the stupidity and selfishness of other human beings. Oda Benga grew up in the African tropical forests near the Kasai River in what was then called the Belgian Congo. He belonged to the Mabuti tribe, which is one of the Pygmy peoples. His people were exterminated by the forces of King Leopold II, and this extermination was not because the tribe was blocking the way for people or attacking the innocent. No, they were a peaceful people and they were exterminated because they refused to be driven to work as slaves in the rubber plantations owned by the Belgians. Benga escaped murder, but lost his wife and children and was subsequently captured by African slave traders. In 1904, the American explorer and businessman Samuel Phelps Werner traveled to Africa to buy a variety of dwarfs, for his joint venture with Dr. People according to Darwin's theory. During his journey in the jungles of Africa, Samuel found Oda Benga when he was on his way to a village, and Benga was bartered for several pounds of salt. Benga was one of the dwarfs that Samuel returned with in late June of 1904 to St. Louis, Missouri, where the exhibition was to be held. Benga caught the attention of all visitors because of his distinctive shape, especially his pointed teeth. In fact, Benga's teeth were not unique. In Africa, the men of some primitive tribes have been sharpening and fixing their teeth to look like animal teeth, for purposes related to religious rituals. After 2 years, Benga was transferred to the Bronx Zoo in New York and presented with some monkeys under the name of the ancient ancestor of man, where the director of the park, Dr. A cage, while hundreds of visitors flocked daily to watch it. With increasing pressure and criticism from the press, many American newspapers published editorials announcing their strong opposition to Benga's treatment in this way. Finally, Ronade succumbed and Benga was released and placed in an orphanage under the auspices of the church. In 1910, Reverend James Gordon arranged for Benga to be transferred to Virginia, where he attended school, and in order to be more integrated with American society, Reverend Gordon changed his appearance and made him wear American-style clothes, as well as adjust his teeth in order to avoid harassment from others. Benga continued to attend school until he mastered the English language, after which he joined a job in a tobacco factory. Benga was a distinguished worker, as he could climb lightly on poles to fetch tobacco leaves without even the need for a ladder. His colleagues at work called him Bingo, and he often sat down to tell the story of his life in exchange for some sandwiches and bottles of beer. Despite the great improvement in his life, only his nostalgia for his homeland did not leave him for a moment, and he began planning to return to Africa. On March 20, 1916, Benga ended his miserable life, aiming the gun at his heart and shooting himself, and was buried in the black part of the city cemetery. Finally, Oda Benga passed away. The man whom they wanted to portray as living proof of the validity of the theory of evolution is gone, but he was never like that. On the contrary, he was living evidence of its invalidity, because humans did not evolve much. Morally at least, and the story is still going on. Man's injustice to his fellow man continues to this day.